Well, today I want to talk to you about how to make an easy enchilada casserole. This particular casserole I'm making out of ground turkey, and I decided to add an onion to it. We really like onions in our family, so I'm using a large yellow onion, which I'm going to chop up into kind of, I don't know, kind of medium sized pieces. And I just put that in with the ground turkey and cook the two together over the stove. So this is the kind of casserole, if you really like homemade enchiladas and you don't have time, you don't want to use the oil, you don't want to go through the hassle of rolling enchiladas, this is a great alternative. It's a lot healthier because you're not putting any of your tortillas in oil, but you still have all that great flavor of the casserole, which is the enchilada mix and the meat and onions and cheese and all the good stuff. So here I'm just taking the ground turkey and I'm breaking it into smaller chunks over kind of a medium fire. And in a little while, I'm actually going to move this to another burner because I don't know about your kitchen stove, but mine has like a hotter burner, a lighter burner, and this is really just not the best burner to, cook meat and things like that on. So at this point, I'm adding the chopped onions, and I'm going to add about a teaspoon of garlic, and then salt and pepper to taste. I'm not a big salt person, especially when it comes to food like this, because I am using a canned enchilada mix, and that canned mix is going to be plenty salty. It has a lot of sodium in it. It does have a lot of flavor, and it's very easy. I know a lot of people really enjoy making their own homemade enchilada mix, but when you're in a hurry, I was able to put this whole thing together in about 20 minutes, and then it baked. I was able to do other things until dinner. So again, I guess I just brown the ground turkey until it's about, well, I don't want it pink anymore on the inside, but mash it up into smaller pieces, and you want to just have kind of a brown color to it. You want to make sure it's primarily cooked. Now it's going to cook in the oven in the actual casserole, so if it's not completely cooked, that's fine. With this ground turkey, I did have it frozen, so as you can see, there's a lot of liquid in this, which I'm going to drain off in just a bit. But for now, I'm just going to let this continue to cook. I want to see the onions become translucent, which they will. And this is going to be one of the bases that I'm going to put in my enchilada casserole. And honestly, this is really the most time consuming part of the whole thing. This maybe took me 10 minutes to brown the meat, you know, cook the onions up and get it the way I want it. And as you can see, I moved it to the other burner and it's already, brought it up a lot hotter and is cooking it a lot faster. So as I go through this process, I just want to, as I said, drain the liquid off of this, and then I'm going to use this as my meat and onion base when I kind of layer my casserole. So I used a pound of ground turkey. I used one large onion, and again I said I used salt and pepper and garlic, but you can use seasonings to your taste. At this point, the enchilada mix is done for the meat and onions, and I'm kind of just putting everything together now to put into my pan. So I used I have these little Pioneer Woman's kind of casserole dishes. This is the smaller of the two. It's probably about an 8 by 10, and basically, I'm just layering a layer of sauce mix. I'm cutting the corn tortillas. You can use white or yellow. cut those into quarters. You can do eighths if you like, and just layer those. Then I love olives, so I'm going to use this whole can of olives in my casserole. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a layer of the meat mixture on there. In my casserole, I'm going to actually have 3 layers of casserole, meat, and olives that go into it, and cheese. And so I kind of divvy it up into about 3 amounts. Now you can make a smaller casserole and then make one to put in your freezer if you like, but I find it's really easier to make the whole thing, cook it, and then whatever my husband and I don't eat, then I go ahead and put it in another container and freeze it already cooked. And then all I need to do on a night when I don't want to cook is just take it out, defrost it, and just either bake it in the oven a little while to heat it up or just throw it in the microwave. It's a really tasty dish. There's several different kinds of enchilada mixes, and there are packets where you can make your own. This is the first time I've used this Sun Vista. I thought it was pretty good. I usually get the mild, but they do have a medium and a hot. And it was okay. I think I prefer a couple of the other ones a little better, but it was a very good casserole. Then I'm doing a second layer of my meat and onions. I'm putting that on my tortillas and my sauce, and I'm going to leave a third of it for my last little bit. And at this point, I'm going to do another layering of the tortillas, and then I'll save my last one for the top. I usually try to make sure that I have the meat and cheese on the very top, but these tortillas are really what make the casserole. They don't get super soggy, but they break down enough that they taste cooked. They're very yummy. They give the casserole kind of that corn taste that you get when you make a corn enchilada. As you can see, I'm putting my last layer of enchilada mix on. Actually, I'm going to pour a little bit over the top, but my last layer of olives, and I wasn't kidding about liking olives. That's the whole can. And then I'm going to put the last little bit of my meat and onion mixture in here. And as you can see, it fills up this whole enchilada pan. The whole thing is completely filled up to the top. And when I add the last little bit of cheese and enchilada mix, it's going to be all the way to the top. Now, I've made this enough that I know I don't have to put a pan underneath mine, but this is also a really high dish. So if you were to do a shorter pan and you were worried about it boiling over, you might want to put foil under your pan or a cookie sheet or something like that. But like I said, I've made this enough times that I know that this isn't going to be a problem for me. So my last little step is that I'm going to finish putting some cheddar cheese on top. And after I finished doing this, I didn't think there was enough cheese from that whole bag. So I took a couple of slices of some Colby Jack and I cut those into little quarters and I put those on top. Now, the very last step, when I bake this, I do it partially covered, and then the last 15 minutes, I take the foil off. But I always spray the inside of my foil with Pam or some kind of, cooking spray. And that's so that when your cheese actually starts melting, that you're not pulling it off onto your foil. So this is the enchilada casserole. I think it ended up cooking about 45 minutes, and that was 30 minutes covered with the foil and another 10 to 12 minutes without any foil on it. So it was able to brown up the cheese. And all I'm doing is making some servings for my husband and I. I didn't make anything extra tonight. I didn't make a salad or a fruit or anything else. I've actually been sick for about a week and a half, so this was really one of the first meals that I've made since I've been ill. So I decided at this point this was enough. I was tired. It was kind of a long day, but the casserole came out very, very good. I was really happy with it. So I hope that you will give this casserole a try. It's really good. I hope you enjoy it. Take care, everybody, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video.